Yo, this is beatsNscents. I don't even know if I was live. I was trying, but there was a note that said I wasn't. Anyway, I'm going to keep on going. beatsNscents live. I'm going straight raw. This is my first time going raw, so I am going to share my origin story. Now, one thing I did say in the beginning, whether it recorded or not, was bad day today, man. Work got on my nerves. People got on my nerves. The news got on my nerves. And the only thing that makes me feel a little bit better is women and fragrance. And women talk back. So fragrance it is. But it is a little bit early, fella. So, I ain't gonna say what might happen later. But I will share what fragrance might be happening with it. You know what I mean? I actually did a video yesterday on some SEX fragrances. Yes, and that means the bump and grind fragrances. Some fragrances only last 2 hours, and I consider that the perfect time for that bump and grind fragrance. Like this Liam Latafa Gray. I consider this a sex fragrance. It's like smoky, woody, ash, tree. It's just kind of a masculine powder of a fragrance. And, you know, you can see a little dent in there, but body to body, when it's that time, that moment, you just want a different kind of atmosphere, you go for something like that. Switch it up a little bit, fellas. Do something a little bit different. Anyway, these are my blues and my silvers. I have shown off a lot of these before, but tonight I'm actually going to go over everything. So let's start with the beatsNscents origin story, which actually starts right over here. Now, I was the type of fragrance person that I would just go to Ross or Marshall's or TJ Maxx, and whatever I saw in that glass case that was like 25, 30 bucks, looked pretty cool, I would go for it. Then I ended up getting this Invictus. And man, I wore this. I don't know why it looks so rusty. Anyway, I wore this for about a year and a half every day. I mean, every day. I didn't have any sense of, well, you know what? I actually would switch it up to a couple of these, or I would actually, mix them together and try to come up with my own fragrance. But, until the bottle was gone, I'm like, I'm wearing it till the bottle was gone. This Jay-Z, man, this from back in the day. I just got a corner left. I can't believe I used to wear this, but this was my early 20s. This shit is strong. This shit is offensive. Like, it's that crazy of a sin. I can't believe I used to wear it like every day. I know people used to be like, who in the hell does this dude think he is wearing this loud ass fragrance? But that's what you do when you're in your 20s. But anyway, this Invictus was the first like real fragrance I got that was not from Ross or TJ Maxx or whatnot. And I wore it for damn near 2 years. And then one day I said, you know what? I'm ready for some new kind of fragrances. Let's see what's out there. I had no idea. I go by the fragrance counter, in the mall or whatnot. But, unless you show me the gift that comes with it, I ain't tripping, man. I ain't trying to spend 50, 80 dollars on a bottle of cologne. But if you show me that there's a good, a bag that comes with it, I might jump on that. Anyway, the first two fragrances I bought off of Amazon, which is where I got 80% of my collection, was these. This Seven African Powers cologne. I got the little Cuba cigar cologne, which still smells like crap. I don't know what, I've had it for 7 months now, and it was only like $8, so it was my first shot at it. Anyway, I got the Seven African Powers cologne, and I call this a body burner because this is like that real aftershave, and you put this on your body, it's just gonna burn you up. But I feel like whenever I wear it, I'm wearing it for my ancestors. So, If you don't speak that, you don't know it. The next fragrance I got was this Assad. And I didn't know anything about Assad being a dupe of whatever the heck it's a dupe of. I just said, you know what, man, what my brother's wearing in Africa? That's how I ended up with that seven African powers. Because I first checked Africa. I'm like, what the brother's wearing in Africa to smell good? And then once I started searching around, I realized that it was really the Middle Eastern brethren that, were deep into the fragrances. So I picked up this Assad. I got Assad, and I also got. I'm gonna be moving with this camera, y'all. This is raw beats and scents. First time I'm going live, so you just gonna have to roll with me. But we gonna go through my entire collection because what I feel like doing. That's what I'm here to do. So I picked up this Assad and I picked up this Afro leather. And the Assad was nice. You know, I was impressed with it. I was happy to have it. I did feel like it smelled like an upgraded axe or a sophisticated axe, but I didn't have much to compare it to, so I was cool with it. Now the Afro leather, man, I was just wearing it because I had it. I mean, it says leather. I really wasn't thinking like, oh man, a fragrance that smells like leather. I just thought they was just being, that was just what it was called, man. I didn't know it was gonna really smell like leather. So I'm wearing it, like, oh man, this is, it comes off kind of harsh in the beginning or, after the first few weeks or whatnot. So then I start mixing the two, so for like a week I was wearing their side and Afro leather, just because these was my two new fragrances I was trying to switch up. And I was throwing on the seven powers underneath, just getting in touch with my ancestors. So the first couple weeks of my new fragrance journey, I was wearing these. And guess what happened? One day I was in the kitchen and the Spanish speaking cleaning lady was sitting in there. She said something Spanish. Marijuana. I was like, what? Like, I don't know if you didn't just say I smell like weed. That's the only word I made out. Marijuana. I was like, ah, damn. This Afro leather got me smelling like marijuana up at work. So I went back to the drawing board. I went back to Amazon where, like I say, I got about 80% of my fragrances from Amazon. So I don't know what the problem is people have with Amazon. I have a problem with Joma Shop and Fragrance Net because it takes like 4 to 6 weeks. And I'm not interested in that. So anyway, I got 80% of my collection from Amazon. Zero problems. I'm gonna knock on my head, knock on wood, but make sure you shop at an Amazon Prime store. You will see they have a cheaper price. They have the quickest rate on shipping. And if you already have a Prime membership, you're already paying for it anyway. So and Amazon will have your back if you buy from an Amazon Prime store. If you have any problems with the delay or the shipping or you don't get it, Amazon will cover you if you get it from a Prime store. So, and I think you save about average of $3 to $5 at least. Plus the prices change a lot. You don't have to have a coupon. It's whatever the seller sells it for. Seller might feel like cutting it for $10 that day. You snatch it up. I got a lot of these, man, that were in my cart. I leave stuff in my cart for like 3 weeks. One day it's $25, one day it's $21, one day it go up to $28, and then one day it's $18.99. And that's when beatsNscents is on it. Here's a $20 special, fellas. This is for the fellas and ladies, actually. And this is a total gem. This is Latafa Hayati, but it's Hayati with an M. Okay. And it's like a grape, floral, and woods fragrance. Like, I don't even think that's a heavy dent because I only wear this on the, this is when you really want to get like an intimate good time. Some of these other fragrances are just, raw and you know, sexual, but this is intimate right here. I highly suggest this for men and women. And I don't want to talk about it anymore because I don't want everybody even knowing about it. But I think this is for us, by us, if you know what I mean. All right. So that's how my fragrance journey started, with the Assad and the Afro leather and the 7 Africa powers. From there, I moved on to here. This was part of my first collection right during the fall. And the first one I got besides the Assad was Badi Al Oud, Oud for Glory. Another strong, powerful scent. Black Origami, Ebony Fume, Oud. What is this one? Oh man, I haven't worn this. Oud Mood. This is a nice one at home when you're having some company. This rock bar, this is like $15. I was happy to have it, but once you wear it a few times, you probably set it to the side. Sapo. This was my third cologne fragrance, with the Assad, the Afro leather, and Sapo bound. Sapo was that one. I was mixing these two together, then I would mix these two together, but this was early in my journey. My first 3 cologne fragrances. Sapo bound, Assad, Afro leather. These guys, these brothers was there for me. Sapo bound, I feel like, is one of those fragrances that it's like a coming of age sort of fragrance in the Middle Eastern families. When you get a certain age, this is what you get when you get about 17, 18, and feel like you're ready to smell like a man. So it's for me, it's just a good classic to have in the selection. There's some actually newer that smell similar that's kind of popular, but you know, Sable Balm is good for what it's good for. So this was the beginning of the journey of beatsNscents clone fragrance journey, and now I have got to here. And I just want to share with you guys real fast the reason I do these videos, period, and do all my fragrance shorts. Make sure you check my fragrance shorts. That's where the meat of my station is. I do a lot of AI videos with fragrances too. Fragrance AI for my fragrance network, my own promos and commercials for beatsNscents network. But anyway, as I was saying, this is the beatsNscents net, baby. Hope you guys enjoy your evening. Thanks for checking out my video. This was my scent of the day. Escape Eternal Fragrances Virgin Island Water Clone. Smells like Myconite, coconut, and pineapple. Real nice. You can spray the hell out of it. Won't offend anybody. All right, y'all take care. I'm going to get back later on to get into the rest of my journey. But like I was saying, the reason I do these videos is just so I can fill you guys in, because a lot of these I got under $25. And sometimes I'm like, oh my goodness, I want everybody to take advantage of this. This Tywell, $20. $17 for the Najdia Intense, and for me, it's in my top 5 with Socrat, Mater Day Blue, which I wish they'd make an X straight, because I like the EDT version over the EDP version, which is the Club Iconic Blue. I actually finished this bottle in 3 months, man. I actually didn't like the creaminess, the sandalwood, the EDP version, or Perfume version, I believe it is, or whatever. So I just tried to go ahead and get rid of it as soon as possible so I can move on to the next one. And I did it. Milky sort of sense. I wore the hell out of it on the weekend. You can spray heavy with it. You know, it's that light of a fragrance. But Major Day Blue and Sacrat, that Aqua di Gio, Profumo, and the Profundo. I might have it backwards, but you know Profumo, Profundo. But the Liam Blue Shine, Latafa Sacrat, Definitely must-haves in your collection. Okay, if you're over 25 and you want some grown smelling anything for me with grapefruit, mint, ginger, we already starting off somewhere good. It's already gonna be some woods on the bottom, maybe a touch of vetiver. That does it for Beats and Scents. Sweet Heaven Ice. This is like cognac and whiskey in a fragrance on the rocks. And this is that same fragrance, smoking a cigar. Definitely quiet sleepers. Anyway, we'll get into more the next time, everybody. Thanks for checking out Beats and Scents Fragrance Shorts. This is when I need to open up this Frank Oliver Pure Addiction. I'm kind of waiting till the fall. My newest bottle I just opened up, I have not done a video or full review of yet. It's this Imperium Absolute, and I put this in my SCX category because this is what you wear when she comes in the door, and the rest is up to you to close the deal. But this will get you started, fellas. Imperium Absolute, my new favorite. This bottom shelf, clones I will never purchase again. That is an Aqua de Zio Dupe right there is not so bad, but I don't know why they put it in such a crappy bottle. That Pride is soap. I don't know why people like soapy fragrances. I'm trying to get into it. This one cost me like $27. It should have been $17. But it smells like if you're at an indoor pool party. If you're not at an indoor pool party, you're going to smell silly wearing it. Tafa Samoa, underrated. I think this is Egoist or something like that. You know, a lot of y'all know what those fragrances are, what the real OG is. But it took this about 2 months to go from just a metallic silver to something real nice. I still put it on the bottom shelf because, you know, the fragrance isn't that rich of a fragrance. I got these as part of my first of my dupes. That Rhyme Silver, and this is the ladies version. Save your money, okay? I'm actually not into the JPG, Lamel, or whatever, or Ultramel, whichever one it is. I'm not into the JPGs at all. I have a dupe of damn near all of them. Paradise Garden actually ain't that bad, but I'm not into the JPGs. These are coming for later this fall. This Amberly Aubrey Blue. We'll check that out, but that'll be later on in the fall. Now over to the blue and silver for the summer. This is Rue Broca Theron. This is another $20 gem. It's like grapefruit off the top. So if you're into the grapefruit fragrances like the Tiger, this is a definite must-have. You can save about $8 from the Tarati Blue. Same fragrance, same profile, same strength. Hit you in the nose with the grapefruit. Beats and Scents, baby. Check out my fragrance shorts. I've said goodbye like 5 times, but I'm still here. But I'm out now, everybody. Beats and Scents, take care. Thanks for checking me out.